Anyway, so hello everyone, thanks for coming. We have nice slides here, it's black, this is by design, almost. So that's the first time I'm in this region, so I'm really delighted. I was given an opportunity to talk here. This is kind of a technical talk. I'll try to talk about retention. I'll try to talk about things that aren't that often spoken about. And yeah, so now let's see if the technology is good with me. Yeah, anyway, so this talk is based on my previous experience and on my multiple conversations with people within King and outside of King. So I'll talk about the development techniques we have at King, and also I'll talk about some of the cool industry standard things. Now, okay. It somehow just works. Okay, so this is me, and this is a slide like of why would you want to listen to me. So pretty much, I spent 6 years at Unity, like long ago when Unity wasn't a big thing, since the times when Unity was a small company, so I started working at Unity when it was Unity iPhone 1. 6 years after, I worked at a game dev company, and then King suggested me to go and join the internal technology division called Default, and I'll talk about it later. I don't only travel and talk about technical things and about my engineering background. I also do game manager roundtables. The next one is next week in San Francisco, so I collect the very best people from top game engines like Unity and others. So I collect that within the same table, and then we talk about, wow, that's yet another nice slide. So, and we talk about different things that matter to the industry, to the audience. I also do I also try to figure out game dev streaming. So you all watch Twitch, and the teens watch Twitch, the esports, and the game streaming. So I think the next cool thing gonna be the game dev streaming. So the people, the younger people maybe, watching other people create games, not just play games, but create games. I think that's gonna be the next big thing. I'm working on that. Also, offline game jams. So there are like when you collect people to create games, say for a weekend or for example for a week, you need a Wi-Fi for that and full infrastructure. So I'm trying to create the same thing but without that. So we're creating hardware tools for that. Oh, it works actually. Nice. No. Yeah. So that was me. Yay. It works. Perfect. So 5 minutes in, let's talk about the actual core about my talk. I want to actually narrow down to a single line of what I'm going to talk about, like to the core of the problem. So let's start with the terms that you know. So like, what technology do you need to ship a game? So you need the game, then you need the marketing tools and technologies, then you need the operation things, right? When we're talking about like shipping the game, in most cases we're thinking about the mobile game. And again, in most cases we're thinking about the free-to-play mobile game. And these are the kinds of games that you have to operate. So the very wise and clever marketing people, they get players, so-called traffic, then so they have ads, people click on that, maybe install the game, then there are ads and stuff like to return to the game. Then the very clever operations people, they try to operate the game, like to tweak the numbers, like the buttons, so the fresh players get easily into the game, get hooked into the game. So this is what most talks at different conferences are about. So what I'm going to talk about today is that there's a bunch of technologies that is crucial for your marketing and operations people to be efficient. And this set of technologies is pretty much the game runtime. So my statement is that the games have to be designed for the top charts. Let's explain what that means. So again, this is a general truth, and people talk about very, very often that mobile games are consumed very often in small portions. So during the commute, when someone is in the line in the supermarket or somewhere else, so in very, very short sessions. Now let's think about this particular use case. So a person has 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes to spend. So that person may launch a game, that person may launch a messaging app, that person may spend time on Twitter feed or something. So your game and other games are rivaling with messaging and social applications. So what I'm trying to say here is it's all about the motivation. So there is a very, very limited amount of time, and the person is determined to get some fun, to get the result, to get satisfaction. And again, the time frame is very, very limited, up to 8, up to 10 minutes. The person knows that. So it's the time from when that person clicks on an icon on his phone, since that time to the time when he starts playing the game. So this is where it becomes very crucial. So again, I have 6, 7, 8 minutes. I know that, very limited time. I want to have fun. I want to click and play instantly. So that instantly is exactly what I'm talking about. So for example, Weird King even measured the time since the click on the game icon to the first spinning thing that the game is loading. This is very important, for the gamer to be willing to return to a game again and again and again. So this is the startup times of the game and of the level, right? Again, the player might be somewhere in the middle of the game. So I'm reiterating it again, but I guess I see understanding in your eyes. So you got what means the time to actually start playing. Now the battery drain. We again speak about commuting. So people play games when they commute. And so in the morning they go to the office, in the evening they go back home. Guess what their battery level is in the evening? So it's less than 50%, right? It's often 20%, 15%. What's the motivation to launch the game, right? So if the game consumes battery that high, they wouldn't be willing to launch that particular title. So probably on the evening commute, people wouldn't launch the heavy 3D game. They would launch a 2D game that is easy on their batteries. And lots of modern 2D games, they actually run very hardcore animations. They run sprint animations at 50 frames per second, though they don't need to. They refresh the screen very often. So the battery drains hard, even on the casual 2D titles. So this is not good, and it makes people reluctant to launch these games. So for example, Weird King, we really care that the games drain as little battery as possible. We will run tests on that within the whole our portfolio of mobile titles. Now, networking performance. Again, we're thinking about people on the trains, on the boats, in the subway, in supermarkets, or somewhere where networking connection is not reliable. So the ideal way is obviously to make an offline gameplay. So there is obviously the game would need to connect online from time to time, but the offline gameplay is very important. But it's not always possible. Lots of modern games actually rely on constant or semi-constant connection to the service. But the flaky, the broken networking shouldn't be the reason for the game to become sluggish or slow. So the moment when networking breaks shouldn't break the game experience. That's what I'm talking about. Then storage consumption. Obviously, everybody talks about, yeah, the initial game footprint should be very, very small, like 50 megs, maybe 100 megs, not more. What I want to talk here about is about the updates. So when you operate a free-to-play game, you ship updates weekly, monthly, bi-weekly. You have a Christmas update, you have whatever else festivity update. So you put more and more content into your game. Now, where does this content go? It's very often that this content gets stored on player's phone, on player's device. So if you ship like 10, maybe 50, maybe 30 megabytes on a weekly basis to your game, the game grows and grows and grows on user's phone. And this is especially painful for users who have cheaper devices. And there run apps that say what takes the storage on their device. And then the bulkiest games get uninstalled. So we monitor that. So we at King actually monitor all of that. We have monthly tests across our games portfolio that determine like CPU consumption, RAM consumption. I mean, everybody runs that, right? So in this audience as well, I guess. So that's why I didn't mention that. I mentioned only the things that aren't talked about very often. So we have something that is called King SDK. And that's the common stack for all our games. Coffee. So the social integration, the traffic like business intelligence, the operations side like store integration with platforms, the game save and synchronization so that you can start on the Facebook, then continue on your iPhone, and then in the evening maybe on your Android tablet or something. So the continuous synchronization. So that's a common stack, King SDK. Then let's talk about the key thing of my today's talk, about the runtime. So we use three game engines within King. We use Unity. Everybody knows and loves it. So we have a source for Unity, so we're very, very deep in it. However, we don't ship games on it, but we do develop it, games based on Unity. Now, Fiction Factory, that's the engine behind Candy Crush Saga and some of the other titles. That's a kind of legacy King engine we have been using for a while. That's internal technology. Default, that's also internal technology, but that's like the next thing. Next generation, if you will, internal technology. We've been using it internally for 2 years. And since March, that's available for free for everybody to use. So that's exactly this internal technology that fulfills all our metrics and benchmarks. And so, for example, if you have phones in your hands right now, and I see lots of you do, can you launch Blossom Blast Saga? Blossom Blast Saga. So that's the game. Yes. So that's the game. That's kind of a flagship game that is built on default. It launches within seconds, like 3 seconds, say on the new iPhone, 5 seconds on old iPhone, or like maybe 10 seconds or 7 seconds on the very old iPhone. Or it works even on 5-6-year-old Androids, and it also launches instantly. And that's what that's just an example of how do you make the game up to the modern standards, optimize for retention, optimize for users to instantly willing to play it. So you launch the game, it's immediate launches with a big green play button. You click on the button, you're playing the game instantly. Like, you don't waste time, and you get that satisfaction from the game. It also is released on the Facebook. It doesn't require any plugins. It doesn't require Flash. It's HTML5 thing. It launches within seconds there as well. That's something that Facebook users aren't really used to. And we get very good feedback from the Facebook players, and we think that's something. So we need to we're working to bring gaming to the Facebook back, so the people on the Facebook and other social online social networks can play games from their work computers, for example. Right. So that's just a screenshot, like a picture of internal board in our office. I just wanted to say that so that game engine that are you sure that it runs from my machine or? Exactly. So that's the problem. I changed the slides. Yeah. Yeah, and then I guess we won't have the video. Can you, in the meantime, please switch to my computer? Yeah. Anyways, where was I? I was about, and that's why the phones don't work. Yeah, now I see it. Anyways, so let's talk about that internal technology that I was talking about. So, default, that's the game engine that we've been using at King for 2 years. Now it's available for everybody for free. It's the game engine that is good for 2D games. It's a 3D engine, but it has like the best tools for 2D games. Then people who use it normally care about multi-platform games. So they want to release the game for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, Linux, web. Then you care about these teams normally care about the stuff that just working for like the updates. We fix bugs within a very short amount of time. We have bi-weekly releases, so like each 2 or 4 weeks we release the engine. The new version of the engine, it gets instantly pushed to everybody who uses that, both inside of King and outside of King. And so, for example, we have more than 20 games launched outside of King, and we have at least 5 teams in the office where I'm based in Stockholm who use this technology. And my next slide is going to be about that. But what I want to say with this bullet point is that the update, when the updates get pushed, everybody gets the new version of the engine. So the lead programmer doesn't need, to go and make everybody upgrade in order for a bug to get shipped to everybody within his team. It just works. Yeah, and well, this is the internal technology that fulfills our metrics and needs and demands for the top grossing kind of games. Yeah, so while we're a bit short of time, let's make it like this. Let's get the takeaway, and then we'll also try if we can run a video. Yeah, but so the takeaway from this funny and a bit sporadic presentation is the following. So my statement is that the games have to be designed for the top charts. The marketing alone, the operations alone, it's not enough. The game technologically has to be designed. I'm not talking about and while this may seem like it's a game design problem, it's actually a technology problem. I mean, if your game launches within, 20, 30 seconds, your game designers wouldn't save you. So the games have to be designed for the top grossing charts from the tech perspective. So the runtime performance is crucial. If it's not there, it just spoils everything. People wouldn't just be willing to return to a game. They will forget about the game. Now, King shared big part of internal tools that work exactly well for the games that are designed for the top charts. These tools are available for everybody to use, including yourself. You just go, download, no royalties, no anything. You use our tools, you earn $1 million or whatever. We don't ask for money. We are happy about you. Now, these tools are awesome if you're working on a 2D cross-platform game, if you're targeting low-end devices, if you're targeting emerging markets, if you're targeting people who play games very, very often. So this is exactly what the technology is about. It runs on Mac, Linux, Windows, Android, iOS, and HTML5. Now let's see if we can get the video playing. So this is going to be a video of our office where we actually develop this engine in Stockholm. And okay, we actually see the video. It is nice.
So overall, since we built the last office, King has kept growing. We've added so much great talent to the company, and I think as we grow, we need to create more space.
So instead of kind of carrying the baggage of the past, we wanted to have an environment whereby you get a clean slate in your head and you can then work forward without any kind of restraints.
When people come down here the first time, everybody's like, oh my God, you have a forest.
I think the forest is amazing. I think the forest is mind-blowing. You come in and it's like you're being hugged by the actual studio, which is an incredible feeling.
Well, the mental space around here is really, really cozy and calm.
For me, as a producer, I need space where I can think, where I can explore. Having this calm area, it sort of oozes energy.
There are a lot of spaces in general where you can go. It's not only the forest. We have the meeting rooms, we have small different areas where you can actually go.
There's a lot of places for people to meet for more intimate conversations or kind of brainstorming sessions that are really useful and fruitful if looking for new ideas.
The cool thing is that all the projections on the ground are actually interactive, so when you walk on them, it'll make some kind of sound, as if you're walking through water or you're walking on ice.
The purpose of the forest at K36 was to create an area where nothing is basically required of you. You don't have to produce, you can just sit and just be yourself. And in those moments of pause, I think, is when the greatest creative things happen.
I think it's an interesting office because we're in the middle of town. It's really a buzzy area of Stockholm, and at the same time when you come into the office, it's a calm, great environment to work and concentrate in. So I think you get that blend of a great place to be and a great place to work.